In today's video, you will be seeing 24 different BG's defenders taken by my rank 4 Spider-Woman over the course of a bunch of different metas, and the point of this video is similar to the one I made for Dazzler and Tigra, where we're just going to be doing a masterclass of Spider-Woman versus Battlegrounds defenders, showing all the different options that she can work for. Obviously some are meta dependent, but the sheer versatility of this tacker is absolutely insane, and that's something I really want to show off here. So, we're starting off in the invade meta against this Enchantress, and I'm sure you guys know that Spider-Woman was basically designed to completely annihilate Enchantress, and she does that by the fact that she just places debilitates all the time, basically. So you just ignore all of her damage reflection, and you can kill an Enchantress in 42 seconds at full health in an invade meta with Energize. So she's very good. And so we're going to be doing all these fights organized class by class. We're starting with the Mystics, obviously, because that's what her class advantage is. And this is from the Conflictor Phantom Bleed meta. So that's giving the opponent more power and activate more specials and stuff, making the fights last a little bit longer, but she does sometimes place a Wither for power control. Basically, it's whenever a buff on her is expired, or I think nullified maybe, and then you're going to place a 50% Wither, which is really, really good. And she is neutralize immune, so she's basically a hard counter to Rintrah, because if Rintrah can't neutralize, then there's kind of nothing he can do. And so, yeah, he's almost dead here. Some of the earlier fights in this video are with my lower Sig Spider-Woman. If you want to know about her Sig ability, trust me, the higher the Sig, the better, because it's flat out almost just more damage. It means that whenever a Fury is consumed by her special 1 or something, has a chance to reapply itself as a passive, and also intercepting hits have a much higher chance to grant a Fury. So it's definitely worth it to try to awaken and Sig her up, but just be aware that she is in the Titan Crystal for 7 more months. So anyway, now we're going to go fight this Sasquatch here. This might be the last Mystic we fight in the video, and I think it is, because Mystics just aren't as big on BG's defense as they used to be. I could have fought like a Nico if I knew someone with like a rank 4 Nico, but I didn't. I'm sure it'll be something I do eventually. And then Kindred, she's very, very good for Kindred. I just didn't get a clip of that. Because she is hashtag Spider-Verse, she is going to have an extended pause on his outbreak. So, anyway, we're fighting Sassy here, and this Sassy is pretty good for her, because we get an evade if we ever strike him while unstoppable, which is very helpful. And then this Power Sting detonation just kills him, so anyway. We spent more than half the fight in Sassy's special animations in that one, which is pretty funny. But now we've moved on to mutants, and we're going to start by fighting this Dust here. So there's nothing particularly that makes Spider-Woman very good against Dust. It's just the fact that her damage is so good, and we can see like a really basic, like here's Spider-Woman versus a basic defender kind of thing. Now we are playing this fight in the Invisible Woman saga meta, so we are going to get some precisions and cruelties, which are going to increase our damage a little bit. Her basic attacks do hit very hard, but again, primarily her damage is Power Sting, and then running into a special attack there made me lose health. But the Ensnare failed her placing some sand on me, so we didn't actually trigger the Sandstorm. So, Ensnare OP. Anyway, so yeah, a couple things about this meta is we're going to be doing a little bit extra damage on basic attacks because of the cruelties, so that's obviously something that you do need to know. However, we are getting our Furies nullified sometimes because of Power Snack. It means a couple things. I'm baiting specials a little bit more than I need to, because Inexorable and Power Snack, the Furies are getting consumed sometimes, but I think my Spider-Woman Sig level is like a 50-50 on if I get a passive Fury or not. If I get the passive Fury, then it just kind of evens out. If I don't, then yeah, obviously that's worse for me. So anyway, whenever the Wither does prevent a little bit of power, though, we are going to gain half the power it prevented. Or yeah, I think it's something like that. It might be the full amount of power. I think it's half the amount of power that we prevented. So that power gain is definitely helping us get specials a little bit quicker, but it really isn't making a big difference, because it's like 12.5% of a bar of power if I did the math right. So anyway, that's a rank 4 gentle down in 53 seconds. Really, really good there. Her damage being mostly in red means she's very good for gentle, and the unstoppable evade thing is really good too. Alright, now we're fighting Sinister, and this fight is definitely harder this meta than normal, because of the fact that he's just getting special attacks so much faster, and that means that the concussion that he's going to be placing is going to be really messing with my kit a lot more often than usual. So we do still get the refresh and stuff, and also we're getting a precision and cruelty, which is bad because we don't want to crit Sinister, right? That's also making this fight a lot worse. But yeah, this is a rank 4 Sinister. There's going to be a lot of willpower healing from this guy, but it just doesn't matter when Jess's damage is so freaking good. So like once we start doing the power sting detonations, even though he had so much willpower, it's going to be fine. He's going to die very soon. So like again, this matchup is like so much worse this meta than normal because of the fact that we're getting Fury buffs nullified. He's dropping specials a lot more often than normal, and we're critting a lot more often than normal, so he's regenning more. And that still comes out to be 62 seconds, which is kind of insane, if you ask me. So now we're going to go fight this Onslaught. This is, what meta is this? This is the Arc Overload meta. And she's pretty good for Onslaught. She's not metal, so there's pretty much no downside here. You have a little bit of assisted evade if you mess up the special one. Obviously, if you parry it, that doesn't save you, because I didn't mean to parry it, but the game decided I did, I guess. So, yeah, now we lost our willpower, but it's fine, I guess. But we are hitting Onslaught a lot when he's not stunned, so that's giving us more Furies. Because whenever Spider-Woman crits off of a combo hit that was started when the opponent wasn't stunned, we're going to get Furies twice as fast. Basically, all that's to say is that if you start your combo with the opponent not stunned, you're going to be getting more Furies. Anyway, so here we're dropping a special 1. Of course, eating Crush doesn't help me, but special 1 right here. I'm going to push him to 2 bars with it because it'll do a little bit extra power sting damage if we do. And then it brings him down to 10% health, and then we can kill him right here with my relic. So he goes down there, and that was a 73-second fight, which is actually really long for that matchup. I didn't really have a better one recorded, because I don't know why, I just didn't. But I think that matchup is like very consistently 60 seconds or less. I'm surprised that one took so long. But anyway, now we're going to go fight Jean Grey. This is Invade, and yeah, if you can manage invert control, Spider-Woman's going to just be fine for this. We're doing, again, so many numbers in red that the exhaustions aren't really a big deal. And then you also have assisted evade if you get hit by Jean, because obviously it's pretty easy to get hit by Jean because she's definitely an annoying defender with the invert controls and stuff. So the assisted evade in that case is very much going to help you out. So I need her to drop her special 1 here, and instead she just lets 6 of my Furies expire. So now my damage is so much worse because of course she wouldn't drop the special when I need her to. But it's fine. We're still going to take her down pretty nicely. So yeah, I'm going to go for an intercept there, and then I'm going to go for my special 1. And then she is going to drop it, and then I get hit. Because I run into the special attack. So just messed it up, and that fight's down in just over 60 seconds. Should have been faster if you let me keep my Furies up, but still really, really good overall. And now we're going to go fight Arnim Zola. This is one of my favorite matchups for Spider-Woman. She has a really, really good heavy punish if you get Zola to charge his heavy after his first medium or first light. And then, of course, Zola's getting more power than normal, which Zola's one of those defenders where it's just if you give him more power, he's so much worse to fight because both his special 1 has a long animation and his special 2 you just don't really want him to go to in general because it's just you're going to be forced to take damage. So, yeah, it just makes him a lot worse. But that's fine because she's still able to do a crap ton of damage. And again, her damage being primarily in red means that you're getting around Zola's Zola's cowardice and his crit penetration reduction, which, very mathy terms, basically crits don't reduce his armor rating. They're still going to do more damage, but they won't reduce the armor rating. So he's just very much tankier on basics in general. And then here he's going to go down to 2% with my Power Sting detonation, and then finally drop right there, 65-second fight, which I think I've done faster before. That wasn't too bad still. Alright, now I'm going to go fight Red Skull here. This one, again, it's a tech champ with a lot of armor rating, so if we're doing a lot of numbers in red, that's exactly kind of what you want to counter this guy. So if he drops a special 1 for the auto block, we'll use a heavy attack. Still 3 hits, so it's going to give us a decent chance to gain, or decent ability to add more chance to get the Furies. That kind of sounded really weird, but basically she gets her Fury every 5 hits. The heavy's 3 hits, so it's still a good bit of hits to the counter. And then if he drops a special 2, he's going to have the Unstoppable, which if we accidentally hit him, which shouldn't happen, but if we do, we have the Evade. So it's kind of just like every other Spider-Woman matchup where we're going to get to a special 2 and then drop special 1s and eventually they'll drop, right? It's pretty simple. I do not have great duration on my Furies because I'm not dexing the special 1s. I need to start doing that. Or I can drop the special 2 and also refresh them, so that helps. So here he's going to drop his special 1, and then I'm going to do a heavy attack. We have this global thing that's giving me burst damage on my basics, which is annoying because obviously that's making our damage a little bit inflated. But like that Power Sting detonation probably wouldn't have killed, but one after would have, so it wouldn't be too much longer from there. So now we're gonna go fight this rank 4 Sentinel. I think Sentinel doesn't prevent damage from Power Stings, but I'm going to go check. Yeah, so Sentinel doesn't prevent instant effects that, well, he does, but Power Stings are different. So Power Stings are coded weird. They're like an instant effect, but they're different from like everything else. So Sentinel doesn't actually reduce the potency of Power Stings. Like if you look at Dark Phoenix, she has the same text, but adds Power Stings to it because they're coded differently. And so that just means that, you know, numbers in red champ gets around tech champ with a lot of armor. Kind of the whole reason she's good for Sentinel, because the fact that he's so tanky with his armor and crit resist does not matter when we are just doing a bunch of Power Sting damage. So there's a special 1, brings him to 25%, and then what do you know, another special 1's going to finish the job. So right there, he's going to drop the special 1 and drop, and that's a 60-second rank 4 Sentinel fight. Now we're going to go fight Solvarch, brand new champion to the contest. He's a weird defender. He gets really tanky, starts spamming specials a lot, and I don't entirely know how to fight him very well yet, so this could potentially be improved, but I know like you can outrange his special 2, so I'm just kind of hoping he drops that, which is exactly what he does there. And then we're going to go to my special 2 and then drop the special 1 naturally, and I just hope he drops pretty soon after that. So get 7 Fury buffs now, and then he drops a special 1. I'm going to dex out of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and build up to my special 1. Now, unfortunately, he is going to basically reverse some of the damage that my special 1 does and force it back at me because of his kinetic discharge, which I genuinely don't even know how he gets. So if I could find a way for him to avoid getting the kinetic discharge, then it might be different, but yeah, I don't know that yet. So it does mean we take a little bit of reverb, but he still goes down very, very fast, which is often important sometimes. So now we're going to go fight future Ant-Man here. And Fant is pretty good for her, because you're going to get around his 10% damage cap and the armor rating, it doesn't really matter and stuff. Like, this fight still isn't perfect, especially if the ensnare starts failing his Fury buffs and he gets the passives, because that's just really annoying. You're going to have to slow play a little bit at that point, and it really doesn't help if he intercepts you. But everything still works. That was a weird way for that to work. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get my special 1 setup ready. Go ahead and go for the intercept, so I remove his armor, and then drop my special 1 here. And then I think this might kill him. Yep, it does. So yeah, Future Ant-Man goes down, 48 seconds. Took a little combo because he decided to walk up light me, but it's fine. Or, I don't know if it was a walk up light. It was a light regardless. Alright, now we're fighting Arcade. Spider-Woman's poison immune, so we don't need to worry about that from the cloud. Gets around armor rating just like all these other tech champs, because we're doing numbers in red. And then there's not much else to it than that. Arcade's not that big of a defender anymore. He's just a menace. You can really fight him with anyone, but he can also kill you no matter who you're playing. That's kind of the whole thing with Arcade. So at this point, I'm going to try to push him to another special one, which I do. He throws it, and then I'm going to go ahead and retaliate with my special 2 in just a moment. And I think I'm going to push him to 2 bars as well, which is fine. We don't need to worry about that. And so then I'm going to drop my special 1 here, get him to take the extra power sting damage from dropping it with 2 bars, and boom, that's like over half his health in 1 detonation. And then I'm going to go heavy attack, remove his tokens, of course, and then get to another special 1 because that will kill him. Or the relic will as well. So yeah, again, she still hits very decently hard in basics, so it's pretty nice. Alright, now we're fighting a rank 4 Knull. Rank 4 Knull is obviously extremely tanky. The inequity is going to go crazy. He's going to be reducing my combat power rate over time. But Spider-Woman's still very, very good, so it's not that big a deal. We're going to go ahead and push Knull to 2 bars, because obviously that's the special that you really want to push him to, assuming you're comfortable dexing it. So that's what I'm going to go for, and then going to go for the relic here, and then drop my special 2 in a moment after I bait his, and then we'll get Power Snack to trigger from my dexterity buff, so I get all my Furies, and then there's 10 Fury buffs. And I need to build back to a special 1. Get a little bit of passive power gain. Again, it's like 12.5% of a bar of power. And then the special 1 burst will bring him down to 10%. And then he's going to die very shortly after. Again, getting a little extra damage from the precision and cruelty. But another special 1 detonation would have killed him. Would have only taken like 5 seconds max more. So now we're going to go fight Maestro. I wouldn't recommend this matchup. I don't think it's that good, because, yeah, you're going to eventually stop gaining Furies in basics, and then the only way you can gain Furies from there is your special 2, and you don't really have any energy protection, so I don't think this is a good matchup, but it can work, especially if we're punching down a rank like my Spider-Woman is for this fight. So, like, it's not, like, impossible, right? It's just, I wouldn't ever tell anyone to do it. So, I don't remember the rotation I do. I might drop 2 special 2s. Actually, I'm going to have to, because I let my Furies get consumed by Power Snack. So, yeah, we are definitely going to have to go to 2 special 2s. In any case, yeah, it's just a big annoyance trying to get this guy down, because you won't be getting the Furies in the basics, but you can on the special 2 still. And you can still place the Power Stings on your special 1, so in that case, it can work. Just, why would you ever do it if you can help not doing it? So, here we have 7 Fury buffs, and then I'm trying to get him to go outside of his mode, but obviously it's taking a bit of time. But the Power Stings there kill him, so that's nice. And 64-second takedown. So, yeah, it's kind of mid. Anyway, now we're going to go fight Spider-Woman herself, transitioning to fighting champs from the Science class. Spider-Woman is a pretty good Spider-Woman counter, because obviously Spider-Woman's big threat is evade, so if you get the ensnare up, then you're just going to shut that down. Funny thing, the ensnare can fail you placing the ensnare, because I swear Spider-Woman on defense is literally just Domino, but twice as hard. So, yeah, we're stuck in the corner now because the inexorable, and I'm just like, okay, please drop it, but luckily we can stop the evade, so it's fine. But, like, I've literally had her ensnare prevent my ensnare from being placed on her, and it's just like, dude, this is a complete disaster. But anyway, and then her ensnare makes me place only 3 power stings. I kid you not, this is a 30% ensnare potency, and it's failing this many power stings. I don't understand. this is a rank 4 Spider-Woman. I've had so much better RNG against like rank 3s, which obviously the rank difference isn't going to mean anything. It's just like I'm showing the rank 4 because it's a rank 4 instead of showing a rank 3 fight. But against rank 3s, my Power Sing RNG was never this bad. So like it's a lot more consistent than it looks there with the RNG aspect. I've taken like a rank 3 in 47 seconds at full health, so it's pretty good matchup. Now we're gonna go fight Photon. I really like Spider-Woman for this matchup because you will take a little bit of damage still, but it's not too much, and I'll show you why. One thing we haven't really talked about much yet is her SIG ability Evade. And basically how it works is that for the final hit of a defender's special attack, if you are dashing back, you will evade the hit if you were to somehow get hit by the attack. So basically what's going to happen here is when I push Photon to a special 1, and then she's in pure light, we're going to be able to avoid the last hit, and the only damage we're going to be taking is blocking the first hit. And the Ensnare is also failing energy vulnerabilities from going on me, so she's doing much less damage to me in general. And there you saw the evade. Since we can't dex the special attack, I can still evade it, and then she goes down just like that. So 61-second fight there. And then now we're going to go fight Count Nefaria next. Count Nefaria is a very situational defender, but his whole thing with getting physical and energy resistance clearly doesn't matter, and we're using a champion who wants to do damage and direct damage, because again, Power Stings are like their own thing, they don't really get prevented. So here, now he's got a bunch of physical and energy resistance because he consumed his charges, but it doesn't matter when red numbers, specifically hers, are not affected by resistances and stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go for my special 2 there, place the Retribution, and he's already dying so fast because of the precision and cruelty and stuff. But we can place the Power Stings there, and then, yeah, what do you know, that special 1, or special 2 that he drops absolutely deletes him. So, okay, now we're going to fight skill class defenders, because, yeah, she can do some of them. Starting with Yelena. And this fight, I think, is actually slower than it could be in general. I think this fight can be faster than the 75 seconds you're going to see me take it in. And the whole thing with this is Yelena is going to cap the attack rating of your basics. So, like, your Furies won't affect your basics, but they're still going to buff the Power Stings. So, once we get to the special ones, we're going to start doing so much damage in the Power Stings because the Furies are still going to be helping. Anyway, she's also capping my crit damage, so the node giving me cruelties and stuff quite literally doesn't matter. And we're going to be getting Furies a little bit faster, but not to an extremely important degree. So, I'm building up my power, and I'm going to go for my special 2. Right here, we have 9 Furies now. And then she's going to drop her special 2, and then I dex most of it. For some reason, somehow I blocked a hit. Anyway. So here, I'm going to go for my special 1 in just a moment, and then we're going to start placing Power Stings. I want to push Yelena to 2 bars with them if I can help it, because again, they do more damage if we get her to drop a special 2, but she did drop the special 1, it's not that bad. We still have 11 Furies total, and then I'm going to go for my special 1 again. This one will push her to 2 bars, and then she drops it and she dies. Right there, yep. And that is a Science Champion taking down Yelena in 75 seconds with almost full health. She's very good. Okay, now we're fighting Bullseye. This one's weird. This does not work in a power gain meta, pretty much, because, you know, Bullseye in a power gain meta is actual cancer. But this is the regen one. So, what's going to happen is we're going to try to get to 2 bars, of course, but we're slow playing the start, because what I want to happen is I'm going to place the Ensnare debuff on Bullseye with, you know, the timer on Spider-Woman's. And then, of course, the Ensnare means that we're going to fail him evading, I'm sorry. And then, of course, we don't have 100% uptime on it, but it is paused during my specials. Maybe Bullseye specials, I don't remember. So it's going to last longer, like, the more it's there, because we're going to start stacking debilitates, and then we're going to be special spamming a lot more, obviously. So, like, here it's paused, and then I need Bullseye to drop a special here, which he's going to do right there. And then we do place the ensnare and fumble back. And then I'm going to start dropping my special ones. Now, he is going to take a little bit of reduced damage because he does have some power sting resistance in his SIG ability. However, when we're doing so many of them, you know, I had another special one ready. It's still fine. And, like, dude, we still took 17% of damage, but, like, I still think that's a really solid fight. Like, a science champ taking Bullseye with that good a score is kind of ridiculous. Especially one that's not bleed immune. And if he didn't drop his special one right there, because, again, I was trying to push him to 2 bars, we would have had so much more health. So now we're fighting Black Panther. If Black Panther drops a special one, he's going to get the cleanse, of course, which is going to eat up my debilitates, but the fact that her power stings are severe and can't get purified means that I don't need to worry about him dropping a special one for my damage, of course. So once I have those 6 debilitates, I'm kind of just big chilling. I'm still going to anti-bait it a little bit because, you know, I still want the debuffs to be there. And then I want the special 2 to be doing more damage. Well, I want him to drop a special 2 because he's going to take more damage, I should say. And then he's just going to die right there. So, yeah, Black Panther in 43 seconds. Next up, we're going to fight Lumatrix. Obviously, this one's a bit of a stretch. Because we don't have any way to prevent miss. We can prevent evade, however, and that's kind of why I'm trying this, because I know I can prevent the evade with the ensnare, so if I just play well enough, we should be fine. And I have to get the ensnare up first, of course. But, yeah, it works. It's not a great matchup, of course, because, you know, we don't have any miss counter. And then if Lumatrix is a higher SIG, this is going to be harder, because I think he has some power sting control there. I'm not really sure if it's the same as, like, you know, maybe, you know how, like, Sentinel doesn't actually affect power stings. I'm not sure if Lumatrix is coded that way. Either way, this matchup against the SIG 17 still went really well. So, anyway, I do have to deal with him dropping special ones a lot more than I'd like, but it's whatever. I do get a nice dex of his heavy attack in the corner, and then I'm dropping my special 1 there. I didn't get all 10 of the power stings that I'd like, but it's fine. And yeah, he definitely looks like he took a little bit less damage there, but we still got him down pretty nicely, 66 seconds. And yeah, that's not something I'd ever advise you try, but it works, and it'll go in the showcase. And then lastly, we're going to fight this Nick Fury here. I do think she is pretty decent for Nick Fury. It's just mainly because of a sheer damage perspective. That's kind of the only reason. I guess if you lined up your special 1 with how many debuffs it places, with when he goes into second life, you could technically cancel out his second life healing with Despair. Never tried it before, but in theory it works. And so, yeah, I do eat a combo at the start somehow, but it's whatever. And then this Nick Fury is going to go unblockable a lot because this was the coded tag season. So that makes this fight even harder, but it works fine. So I'm going to drop a special 1 there. Special 2. And then we are doing a lot of damage already. And then I'm going to drop my special 1. And then he is going to drop his, maybe? No. Okay, so we're going to push him to 2 bars. And then he's going to take a lot of damage, of course. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my special 1s ready to go again. I do not have the Retribution passive anymore, because he's going to get rid of that. Because of his second life activation, but still does some nice damage, and then it won't take me too long to kill him from here. Luckily, he's not dropping an unblockable special 1. He waited long enough for me, and then we're going to be able to kill him with this basic attack right there, and then that's Nick down in 76 seconds, so yeah, it's a decent fight, better without an unblockable meta for sure. But yeah, I'm really happy with Firewoman. I think she's one of the best BG's champs we've seen in a long time, probably the best this year. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I hope you enjoy it, and hope you want to look up more BG showcases in the future from me. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.